Back to another episode of the Boneyard podcast. This week we have two of my good friends, Cranky Con and Legendary. Haven't done one for a few weeks. I took a little hiatus. Been playing a little bit of Hunt Showdown. But oh my god, I am so excited for that heavy fighter. Holy shit, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. I'm your host, the Bare Bones Gaming. We got. I'll kind of let them introduce themselves a little bit more in depth. But I'm the leader of Bone. I started this podcast maybe 2 years ago now. Just talk about ideas and shit. Talk to the devs about, and just for the love of Foxhole. Yeah, dude. I guess we'll start from the top. Cranky.
Yeah, hopefully they can hear me good. But I'm CrankyCom1, a newer streamer in Foxhole. I was an officer in Horde. Me and some of the facility guys broke away and decided to create a public logi regiment and a partisan regiment called Lads. This past war, we focused on IAFs. Thank you, Legendary, for introducing them to me. Really appreciate it. But yeah, been playing for about 2,000 hours now, and can't wait for this new update.
Fuck yeah. Legendary.
That's me. I'm Legendary. I'm from a brand new regiment called Atlas. It's former HVL that merged with NCR to form basically a self-sustained regiment as opposed to just a logistics regiment, because we kind of found out that most of our Logi guys really likes frontline combat, so we formed Atlas, and it's cool. So this is our second war playing as a group, and we've been hardcore into naval production, large ship combat, small ship combat, and a fuck ton of artillery this war. So if that's interesting to you, as well as doing logistics and facilities, Atlas is the place to be. And for myself, I'm not a streamer, but I sometimes infest your YouTube shorts with my funny gameplay hijinks, so check out for that.
I'll make sure to be a good YouTuber, and I'll try to put like all this, I'll try to pin his YouTube channel. It'll be linked. Like I'll do the creator thing, and you can get in there with that. But I'll try to make sure to be a good YouTuber. Still working on that. Anyway, yeah, dude. So I was playing Hunt Showdown yesterday, and Legendary goes, dude, look at your DMs, and I'm like, all right, well, fuck it. I just get out of a game, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? Is this like concept art, or what the fuck? He's like, no, this is real. I'm like, shut the fuck up. They actually do watch the podcast. And let's see if I can find the photo of it. I know it's got to be on this dev branch, dude. It's got to be. Oh, they redesigned that too. That's okay. That's sweet. All right, so here's the harpy. This is the thing that we're just going straight into the meat here this week, guys, because god damn, it's so beautiful. I want to change the lighting on this just to get a little better. Fuck me, dude. I asked for a heavy interceptor. I thought that'd be really cool for the Colonials for a long time, and I'm finally glad that we're getting a second fighter that gives a lot of variation to what we can do now in the air. And I'm really happy they went very asymmetry with this, and we got two fighters that are going to be very different from their fighters, and I really like that. And I'm going to be honest, Legendary kind of chimed in on what, he thinks that these are going to be used for, just slightly. And I really like the concept. I think these are going to be really good at taking down big targets and being coverage for fighters. I do not think these are going to be good fighter v fighter planes. I really don't. I highly doubt it. I think these are going to be chunky, and I think these are what you're going to be using to kill bombers, torpedo planes, getting ground casts type stuff, and I think it's a badass look. And I think it'll be a little bit more expensive than what we're used to. I think it'll be kind of on the price range / level of medium planes is what I call them. So dive bomber is not a medium plane, but it is, and then so the torpedo plane is a definite medium plane. And I think this is kind of where it's weird, right? Because I think this is our variation as much as, like, and this is my opinion, I'm going to ask you guys too. So I think the dive bomber is to the harbinger. I think the Toxot is to the sea fighter. And I think the Harpy is going to be to their torpedo bomber. I think that's how it all evens out, more or less, in a weird way, price-wise. And I think in a weird way, obviously this isn't going to be anti-naval, but I think that's how it's going to kind of shake up. And that's where our asymmetry in planes are going to be. I mean, what would you guys say to that? What do you guys think? And what do you guys think of the plane too?
You first, Frankie.
So say that again. You think the Harpy is to what, to the Wardens?
So I think the Harpy is going to be to their torpedo bomber. Like, I think that's where this plane is going to sit rank wise with theirs. Now, obviously, they do two different roles. Obviously, one's going to be for fighting boats, and this is going to be, in my opinion, covering bombers and covering killing bombers. I really think that's going to be its two very strong points. I really don't think you're going to be contesting sea fighters in this thing. I think their fighters will fuck this thing up. I really do. I really think fighters will tear this thing up. I don't think it's going to be like super weak. Obviously, I'm going to have to go testing on Dev Branch like extensively, but I just see that this thing is going to be a tub in the air, you know, and I think it's going to be more of a, you have your big heavy bomber and then you're going to have your Harpies on the side of it with those rotating 360 guns, right?
Gotcha.
And I think that essentially, weirdly enough, Legendary also nailed it on the head too when we talked earlier. I think they just put a fucking Sombre in the air. Like, I really think they copy and pasted the Sombre turret on top of this bitch. That's what I see.
Shit. You are right.
And so I think the 14.5s, the four of them, are going to shred ass when you're behind something. But I think getting behind something, it's going to be really hard. Like, unless it's a big, chunky target. You know what I mean? So that's my opinion. But
well, I'm not really in planes as much. So and I know you were Bear a lot in War 132. I'm just the 14.5. I've seen Wardens always say that, you know, it's somewhat useless. I see the back and forth of 14.5 is good, 14.5 is bad. So, like, does it actually damage aircraft good, or is it like how does the 14.5 really work?
So I think the big thing on in Legendary, I want you to chime in. You know, like I'm just having a convo. This isn't like one by one, but I really think fire rate is going to be a big deciding factor in that. The fact this has 4 14.5s on it makes me think it's going to be shredding, because the Warden Harbinger is a very slow fire rate, in my opinion, for what I think it should be. It's really depending on the fire rate, in my opinion. I could see it being very strong, especially in tandem, depending on the range of the 20 mils up top, because you got to think it'd just be extra cake on, right? This isn't going to be one gun and one gun. This is going to be both firing in tandem, versus the Harbinger cannot do that, even though it's one pilot. So I do think 14.5 is a viable thing, but the problem is it more viable than the 20 mil guns that the Harbinger carries? No, I think 20 mil is going to be the premier caliber for taking down plane parts and planes, But I think if you're taking on both, and that kind of sucks for the Wardens because they have to kind of pick between each caliber, which I would actually advocate. And this is kind of nuts, but I honestly think I would advocate for the Wardens to shoot both in tandem and not pick between. I think that it should shoot in tandem, especially since we're getting this. I think that'd be only fair. I really think the Warden's Harbinger should be shooting both in tandem. And I don't know necessarily, like, if that would affect too much for them, but I think it would only be better, you know what I mean? But then you have to deal with, like, the fire rate has to match. Like, the Harbinger 20 mil has to match the Harbinger 14.5 for the mag size, right? Because if they're firing both in full auto, you get what I'm saying? Like, now you're starting to reload 2 mags when one's not empty, one's not full. Things would be a little weird. So, I don't know. I do think, though, those 14.5s with the 20 mils on the back, fuck. You know? So
here's my opinion, right? And again, big citation, I make the planes. I don't really fly the planes, except scouts. What I do see where this goes design philosophy wise is I think the devs are pushing away from like the solo ace clobbering other planes and feeling good, like the sort of arcadey flying that we've seen up until this point, because that's already in the game now. It's pretty well established. Like, you can take out a scout and you could go fight other scouts, and if you're the better scout for pilot, you win, because the scouts are basically asymmetric now, with the exception of a couple of variations and a couple of matchups, right? Fighters are slowly being pushed to be asymmetric as well. I know that the Harbinger has a very slight edge in some places. I know the Toxa is pretty good overall, like as a generic fighter. And then the White Raven, if you can land the damn thing, the White Raven's pretty good. But I think we're now getting into the point where the devs are pushing for airplanes to be more squadron-based. And I think, to me personally, the first sort of iteration of that was the torpedo bomber. So the torpedo bomber was very much like a squadron-based aircraft once the torpedoes got changed to become a percentage chance for launch hole as opposed to definite chance. And this is the next iteration of that. So the dive bomber by itself is mostly a support. In my opinion, the dive bomber is mostly a support aircraft. You take it out on a front that's active, and it's supposed to enable plays. So, for example, tank lines clashing, or rocket arty coming in from the side, or there's a flatbed that's bringing in supplies. The dive bomber is really good at disabling those, and then something else takes it out. So the dive bomber still had that idea of like the solo pilot making a difference. To me, the Harpy is the first step in. You're not supposed to bring out one of these things because you will get styled on by a Harbinger or a White Raven, or more often than not, multiple Harbingers and multiple White Ravens just flying around you and picking you apart. Where this thing shines is if you bring 4 or 5 of them and 2 or 3 other assets that you're trying to use in an operation, right? So whether that be large bombers to wipe something out, or could be transport planes if you need to paradrop onto like an airfield or something. Imagine 2 or 3 of these things landing on an airfield and then paratroopers landing all around them. Sure, you're sacrificing it, but what if there's like 4 or 5 bombers prepping up on the airfield? And what if there's not enough QRF ready to stop it? Because now you have that 360 20 mil gun, which, again, it's a Sombra in the sky, right?
Yeah.
But when you land it and you switch it to ground mode, that thing absolutely smokes infantry. And then the 14.5s can just, like, lock onto targets and shoot. Yes, you lose your plane, but if I'm taking out, like, 4 or 5 Warden bombers, plus I have a paradrop dropping on top of me, that's a good fucking trade. That's a good-ass trade. I take that trade all day. So in my opinion, this is a squadron vehicle. This is not I'm gonna take this out and I'm gonna fly it by myself and I'm gonna feel really good, because everything else in the game currently aligns with that. And the devs have said that they're making changes towards bombers to be more squadron based. And if you look at the sort of nerfs or the bug fixes that have been applied to transport planes, we've already seen that happen as well. Because the big changes to transport planes that happened this patch, so the current patch that we're on, is you can't basically game transport planes anymore. You can't overload them. You can't jump people out with more equipment than they're supposed to. You can't do over encumbered people. So the idea here is large planes, specifically bombers, transports. You're not supposed to just solo use them. You're supposed to use them in squadrons. And this is both the Harpy is the first plane that's supposed to work in tandem with those planes, and you're supposed to bring them in mass. Funnily enough, I actually think that the Harpy probably won't see too much action with Toxots. It's kind of like one of those situations where you either bring a shit ton of Harpies or you bring a shit ton of Toxots, depending on what you're trying to do. So if you're escorting stuff, I would bring Harpies, and if you're QRFing something, I would bring Toxots. The other last thing to just point out that I kind of noticed from it is it looks really big, and I don't think it's supposed to land on Poseidons. Because
I don't think so either.
Gotcha.
From previous testings, where the original dev branch, we actually got a whole bunch of torpedo bombers to try and torpedo bombers that we transferred to Collie side, so they were Collie torpedo bombers, and we tried landing them on Poseidons, and they literally can't take off, even though it checked all the different marks for it being a friendly plane on a friendly aircraft carrier. It literally couldn't take off.
Okay.
So this thing as well kind of just looks too big. So I don't think you're supposed to bring this to an aircraft carrier. So this is very much it takes off with bombers, and its extended fuel tank is supposed to carry it to a target to defend whatever it's trying to do.
Well,
so to me,
I'm
this is an escort plane.
I'm gonna tell you right fucking now, that's not landing on an aircraft carrier. I'll tell you right fucking now, just based on the size of this brigand. Like, when you look at the wingspan of that, you got to think, like, an aircraft carrier's runway is maybe a brigand and a half width, give or take, maybe 2 at most, right? That's not a bomber's width length at all, but I would 100% say that's on the size of a Warden torpedo bomber. Like, I 100% say that's about the same size, maybe a little smaller. But I will say, just going off of this, like, obviously I don't know what his throttle's at. I don't know anything. You know, just watching this preview, I don't know if he's trying to, like, accurately get shots on or if he's full auto here. A lot of testing, but just off this video here, this is a pretty maneuverable plane for its size. And it doesn't look like it gets a lot of debuff on the climb as well. This looks like a pretty agile plane, like, for its size. I definitely think you're not going to be turn fighting anything, and if you do, you're going to be getting fucking smacked. But I definitely think it's agile. I like your idea, what you said, Legendary, talking about its possibility to land on a runway and fucking just be a fucking asshole to their aircraft that they have on standby or prepping. Again, this plane definitely screams to me interceptor, and it also screams to me I don't know what they call planes that escort. I mean, an escort plane, I guess. I'm sure there's a word for it. This screams escort to me.
This is escort. Because the big thing is with the 360 turret, imagine if you also had heavy bombers with the 360 turret. And, I mean, okay, God forbid, but still, Pegasus with the 360 turret on top of it, right?
Yeah.
All of those added together, individually, they do jack shit against, like, a sea fighter chasing you or a harbinger on your tail, right? But add all of them together, and you're slowly starting to make a wall of bullets.
Well, and
so this contributes to the wall of bullets, in my opinion. And the fact that it's a 360 turret, yeah.
Okay, so here's something I wanted to say, and I've thought about for a really, really long time, and I don't think they did it because of me, but maybe this is a slight iteration towards this, but something I've already thought of, which I think would be very funny but very expensive if it dies. Can you imagine doing a 360 loiter on a 45-degree tilt with that fucking gun in direct fire being an AC-130? Just around a fucking around a trench, just cool. Gun on the fucking you know, like, come on, dude. Like, this just screams AC-130 to me at a 45 tilt there, you know? Come on.
The other cool thing about the 14.5s is we officially have a way to basically shred not airfield, sorry. We have an easy way to shred train yards the same way that the Harbinger has.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
you guys might have experienced this all that much.
Oh no, we have.
Holy fuck, the train yard when the fucking Harbinger lands in the train yard and kills everything. It's really annoying. So I'm very excited to find Halbert's train yard.
Something else.
These bad boys.
Something else I thought of too when you're talking about landing on a runway. You know, if you're taxiing it too, you know, if you are driving it, if you point these 14.5s at a plane as well, you know, if you can still drive it, you know what I mean? If your parts aren't damaged. You could also drive this thing and use the 14.5 on a runway. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah.
So, like I said, I really think, and maybe I'm wrong, and I really want to, like, if Dev Branch is out, I really want to play in this thing against some really good pilots. But I'm serious, dude. If you can catch someone lacking, like, parts don't have that much HP. And if you know, come in top down on someone and that 14.5 and the 20 mil rip into something, I mean it, dude. Parts go like that. That could be a real, like, stomper. You know what I mean? Like, this is the Talos of the sky kind of shit.
My question is this gonna, like, when in the tech tree is this gonna release, and can it go off tier 1 runways or tier 2 since it's a heavy fighter?
I would assume the only thing that stops planes like concrete runways, the only planes that stop is heavies. So this will be able to go off of any normal runway as long as it's built. You know what I mean? You're not gonna have an issue running this thing off of a normal runway if it's tier 1. Or tier 2 technically, but it's tier 1 because there's only 2 tiers to runways. It's tier 1, tier 2. But you won't have any issue running this. Like, it would really shock me if they made this a heavy bomber sweet plane. That would borderline be insane. Like I said, I really think this is coming out with torpedo bombers. Like, I really feel like that's gonna be where it comes out.
We know one thing about this. So we know the construction requirements for it. So we know that this uses small plane parts only. So it uses 2 small engines, and then I think it's 7 small parts. So this basically is in terms of part usage, this is slightly more expensive than a Toxot. So it's basically in terms of load wise, it kind of looks like it's the same as the Man of War.
Gotcha.
Which is the top bomber. So it's around there. Whether or not that unlocks with the tech tree, I think it would. But actually, now that I think about it, if it unlocks with the dive bomber, I think I would rather make this thing more than the dive. Like, I would make like 1 or 2 dive bombers to have as like some really, really, really niche support vehicles. But this thing I could actually see spamming, specifically in naval hexes. This thing is going to be demonic in naval hexes, because air superiority against Warden Navy is everything. That's speaking from experience this war, where we actually made large ships and played on large ships. Essentially, if we did not have fighter cover and a form of mobile flak to follow the fleet, like either a flak tank on a barge or in some funny instances, a zeal on a crane on a barge. Um, More often than not, enough harbingers took control of the sky, and then it's just non-stop man wars. So if this thing can replace the need to bring a flak tank on a barge or a zeal on a barge, then it's going to be very, very suited for naval warfare. With the caveat of it being, you need to. It's basically there to not chase. It's supposed to sit above your destroyer. It's supposed to sit above your long hook, because it has to play carefully with its fuel reserves. Because unlike the Toxot, you can't rely on the Poseidon to save you. So, yeah.
I promise you this. I guarantee you TTK for any plane, if this gets its full value off versus any other plane, I guarantee you this will have the fastest time to kill on a plane. Like, if you have a skilled enough pilot and you have a skilled enough crew in this thing, this will have the highest TTK for planes. I even over the Warden Sea Fighter with a Hivo. If this thing is on your ass with both guns, you're fucked. Like, it's just, this will shred anything. Like, hands down. It's not even going to be debatable. This will absolutely dominate the skies, if played correctly, like, in my opinion. Now, all that being said, now, something else I'm actually pretty happy for. The Warden's got a redesign on their paratrooper plane, and I actually went and did some paratroops on Dev Branch in theirs, and it was a lot harder to get out of their paratrooper plane. This makes our dry docks a lot harder to defend. This is going to make our heavy production lines higher in jeopardy. Now, not saying that they couldn't pull it off before, but I really do think that this is going to be a lot scarier, because I don't know if you guys ever tried it. Trying to do a paratrooper drop out of their old design was really hard, trying to fit out of one door, and it stopped up a lot of their dudes. They're going to be a lot more tactical now, in my opinion, being able to get out of their planes like that. It's not a huge change, but I do think that their paratroopers are going to be a lot more dangerous now, in my opinion.
I've done the one thing that I've done a lot of in the last couple of wars has actually been paradropping, both flying the planes as well as both being paradrop lead, as well as just random paratrooper who jumps in on ops. The biggest difference between the Kali paratrooper meta and the Warden paratrooper meta right now is that the Kali one, you tend to ball up a lot faster after landing, whereas the Warden one, you kind of land in lines. And I think this change will make it a little bit easier to ball up after landing. So the strength really doubled down with the with the Kali one, because not only would your paratroopers land in one spot more or less, but they would also be equipped with lunaires, which is much easier to sort of ball up and shred a target before QRF jumps in. Because the big thing about paradrops, it's all about damage as fast as possible.
Yeah, time.
So in that aspect, yeah, exactly. So in that aspect, I think ours is still a little bit better because of the balance of the lunaire.
Not even that. That's not even the biggest.
Said, yeah,
landing in water.
That being said,
ours being amphibious. Water, amphibious is
sure.
Huge.
But I'm just but to be fair, this thing can fly basically across the map in a one-way trip and not have to stop in the water to reach.
Right. I mean, theirs is more fuel efficient, and I get it, but I'm saying the fact ours is amphibious opens up insane amount of tactical doctrine, like being able to have a supply point theoretically out in the middle of somewhere land, pick troops up in the water, and take off again. I know that's very niche, but it's a big thing. Or being able to refuel, or if you're going on a one-way trip and you need to refuel somewhere on your way back, like
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah.
Now obviously that's not what this update is addressing, and I 100% agree. Balling the troops up, and getting your dudes all in the spot you want them to be in instead of a long linear line. It's going to be more stacked up in a smaller drop zone, which is huge when you're talking about dropping an AI. You need exact pinpoint accuracy of when and where you drop. So that's why I was saying I think this is going to be a huge change for them. Obviously, the Lanier is going to be a better partisan tool or PvE tool. We're not getting into Lanier versus Cutler debate, but that 100% will give them more tactical advantage when they're doing paradrops, and what they want to do with those. So happy for that. The other thing,
I will say
go ahead.
The one downside to this redesign though is its profile is much bigger.
I agree.
So the big thing with a larger profile is not so much the precision flak, like the blaze flak. I think that will still hit you like a truck, but this does make this thing slightly more vulnerable to AA tanks. Because AA tanks have a decent amount of spread on them. So I will say that not only do we win on still basically having amphibious, basically still having the better like post drop like reassembly, but where our Pegasus is still slightly better at surviving basically the most spammed vehicle in the game for anti-tank right now, because no one's really spamming the 20 mil guns.
Yeah.
I'm the only crazy person still playing in a Sombra. Basically everyone has transitioned to using flak tanks as their go-to anti-air vehicle. So yeah, this does suck for it, but yeah. I will say, you did say something interesting, which is like, oh, dry docks are super vulnerable now. I disagree, hard disagree. The automated AA gun.
But I'm talking about
bases,
that's
fucking shreds. Shreds plates.
I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about dry docks
Yeah.
way off in fucking Timbuktu. Dry docks.
You mean? Sorry to interject here. You mean LARP dry docks?
Yeah, I mean yes. You know what I mean. Like, you know what I'm talking about. Like, obviously those dry docks. If you're going for the ones in over the AA, if you're not doing bombers, what the fuck are you doing? Like, this is not, you're not partisaning those ones anyway, so, or even paratrooping. So, yeah, I do think that they're going to have a lot more success with those, and I'm very happy to see that they get an improvement there.
Well, my one question to you guys is, since we got the Harpy and they got this redesign, and it really didn't seem like the Warden's got anything this coming update, it like makes you think, like, what are they gonna get, in update 67?
I mean, to be fair, like, now it's even, right? Like, we were down a plane for this iteration. Like, I'm not one to say that everything has to be even, but especially when it comes to something so powerful, adding any plane or adding any difference in, like, quote unquote tactics, it's they got to be really careful. Like, they saw how bad it was when they didn't have emplaced AA do shit. They didn't have mobile AA. Things that I still think need iteration, which I'll talk about here in a second.
Gotcha.
I think I wouldn't expect for them to get more planes. I think planes are going to be sitting for a minute before more iterations.
Not even planes. I'm just thinking, like,
everything.
We got this new cool toy. Like, what do you think the devs are thinking about to give them a cool toy?
That's the thing, bro. I don't know.
Fuck it, return the Flood Ascension.
I mean, here's the thing, like, I think so many people want the Flood Ascension to come back, and I'm not even that opposed to getting it, because when it came in, it used to be, the problem was the Flood Ascension was like so insane, right? And it still, quote unquote, I wasn't in the game when it happened, but from what I understand, it's 40-meter BT.
45 meters, 75 mil shot.
Oh, I didn't know it
also
was 45.
no.
No. Well, so what I'm meaning is
No.
I'm not opposed to them having
No.
toys. You know what I mean? Like, if they got the Flood Ascension, then give us, make the BTD a 45 meter fucking
Oh god.
Hyvo.
Okay.
Like,
No.
if
So
we're gonna go into
I
that,
have a
like,
problem. Okay. Sorry. I have a problem with this design philosophy because it's the endless climb of numbers, and you see it a
right. And
lot in
so that's my
RTS games, and
thing.
I fucking hate it. It's like, oh, we now have the Talos and it's 40 meters range. Therefore, we need to make the BT 40 meters range. But their BT is slightly worse than ours is and a half. So we're gonna give them 42.5
It's
meters
asymmetry
range.
for a
Our
reason.
and then it's 45 meters range, and then
This
it's
is what
50
I'm
meters
saying.
range, and then it's 60 meters range.
Well, hold on.
I
This
don't
is
like
where-
that shit at all. That's terrible.
This is where it doesn't really matter. And what I'm trying to get at is they have their toys, which we fucking hate, and we have ours.
Yep.
Like,
Okay.
I know they hate the Talos getting to 40 meters,
Mm-hmm.
but how long has it gone unchecked that they're fucking still, like, theoretically, we don't have anything that can even compare to it. They're fucking Bone Law. Like, I will die on that fucking hill. I don't care whether you're blue or green. The Bone Law is such a vicious fucking vehicle, and I'm happy they have it. Because it's a high skill gap tank, but god damn it, if they have those and they're a good player and know when to do it, there's nothing that compares. There's nothing in the game that has that fast DPS outbound. There's not anything in the game for one salvo. You know, like DPS, not DPM. It's insane. Like, and so if we're getting into this, like, everything needs to be even, like, this isn't the game for you. It's asymmetry for a reason, and it makes the game good. We're getting a toy, they have toys. Like, I'm very happy that we're getting something in a different flavor. The Toxot is never going to be able to out-turn fight their Sea Fighter, and that's their fucking niche. I don't know what the fucking Harpy's going to bring to the table in all actuality. We're going to have to see what happens in Wars. But we're getting a different flavor of a different superior fighter, right? Like, as much as people don't like calling it, like, their fucking Sea Fighter is their superior quote-unquote fighter. Like, you can beat around the bush. It's a naval fighter. Bro, it shreds planes faster than our planes shred theirs. Like, it's not a big deal that we're getting different flavor of things. The biggest thing I think that they need to keep doing is keep doing what they are doing and giving different flavors and variations to the same issues. That's something I've always said needs to happen with their development process, is if they have... Let's just go straight into, like, the Cutler versus Lanier. Both theoretically are cheap PvE tools that do different things. Ours is indirect fire, which makes it so oppressive to defend actual AI pieces. Theirs is more multi-use. They might not like that we have a strong edge in PvE, and that's not a debate. Ours is way better at PvE than a Cutler will ever be.
Yeah.
But a Cutler will always trump a fucking Lanier, an anti-tank, or just one man with a Lanier versus one man with a Cutler. What you're going to get done is, like, the debate can go on and on and on and on and on. And you can fight angle. But the inevitable thing is, it is a cheap PvE tool that does two different jobs. And it's... That's how they need to balance the whole game. We both hate each other's PvE tool that's cheap. Every Collie hates the Cutler. Every Warden hates the Lanier. I can't fucking tell you how annoying it is to get fucking, like, 30 Cutlers into your fucking tank, dude. Yeah. Like, it's just... It's annoying. And it's...
Also, the super buff Osprey is just as annoying.
I mean, the Osprey is...
The gas nerfs have been really welcome this war, I must say. Last war, fighting in Seagate for 3 weeks where every single time we tried to run an op and they would just deploy like 5 or 6 goons just filled with gas, just gassing the trenches for like 6 hours straight. Man, it was annoying. So the Osprey is in terms of like the anti-infantry role, the Osprey is in a really hot spot as well, which I kind of like.
So, like, this is what I really think, and I'm curious, like, if you guys like what I'm saying. I don't think that they're necessarily what Legendary said, and I kind of like what Legendary said. It doesn't need to be numbers on numbers on numbers on numbers. If there is a gap, fill it, but give them a different flavor of it, not the exact same copy paste with different numbers. I love how they try, like, to turn things around to be different. Like, I really, that's the one thing I do enjoy about the game, and something I will give credit where credit is due. I don't love everything the devs do in this game, especially with their communication. They're doing better, still not where I want it, and I love the update cycles. But at the end of the day, the one thing I will give credit to the devs is if there's a problem, they always flip it on an angle that no one ever thinks about. They are so fucking weird when it comes to reusing old shit, revamping old shit, and making things cool and different and not what everybody wants. But giving us what we need. Like it's that's the one thing the devs are really good at doing in this game. And I think I think that's what they need to keep doing. I like all of that. I really like I like that we got a heavy fighter. I like that it's not the same. We didn't get a sea fighter. I like that they didn't just immediately give us a torp bomber. I like how they don't have a dive bomber. I like that it doesn't. Not everything needs to be symmetrical. I like that it's asymmetrical. That's. I mean, what do you? I mean, what do you guys? Do you guys think that we're getting to a point where we need more symmetry, and asymmetry is starting to cause too many problems?
No. I actually think that the biggest, in retrospect now, I was very hyped for it when it first released, but in retrospect now, and maybe I've been spending too much time near one of the other officers in Atlas who despises this, but if I think about it now, the Warden's getting the AP RPG launcher and the Collies getting the Push 250 mortar was probably one of the most blandest updates that we've had in quite a while. And I know this is mega ironic because I was one of the big advocates for please give us a Push 250 just so that we can PvE shit early on in the game. Or earlier in the game, like we could siege concrete, but they kind of gave us that, and then like 2 or 3 months later they added the breaching mechanic, which kind of defies the whole point of needing it. So I think the game benefits more from less symmetry now, the only exception being entry level weapons. That is the hill that I will die on to this day. Every single entry level vehicle into all the different aspects in the game needs to be perfectly symmetrical. So low G vehicles need to be symmetrical, boats need to be symmetrical, scout planes need to be symmetrical, light tanks need to be symmetrical, and armored cars need to be symmetrical, which they currently are. But everything a step above that, so basically you play with the symmetrical toys, then you move on to the asymmetrical ones. The asymmetrical ones really need to shine. And any form of balance change that brings us more in line with each other, in my opinion, is not healthy for the game. I, again, not sitting back and thinking about it now, I actually don't like this path of change because it makes us too close to the Outlaw. The Outlaw's still a little bit better because it's still more generic/general use, and it still has a high velocity modifier. But I don't want the Spatha to be buffed more. I don't want the Spatha to have a coaxial gun. I don't want the Spatha to have a speed boost. I don't want the Spatha to have a high velocity modifier. That's not good for the game. I think we need to go in the other direction. We need more asymmetry. We need more unique interactions with tools that makes us want to play that side a bit more. Like, for example, if I go and play Warden next war, I'd be very excited to play Warden because I can play with a Brigand, because there's no other vehicle like it on the Collie side. I can play with a Chieftain, because there's no other vehicle like it on the Collie side. I can play with a Highwayman, Yes, I know, sacrilege, but I really enjoy playing in a Highwayman. It's a really good partisan slash support vehicle. And
Mm-hmm.
then flip side, when I play Kali, I get to play with the Javelin, which you don't have on the Warden side. I get to play with the Sombra, which you don't have on the Warden side, at least not in the same way.
Yeah.
So there are reasons why I want to play on the other side, mechanically, for a reason. And the devs need to lean on that more. We should get to the point. We should get to the point where all the loyalists go, you know what, I'm going to try the other side because, man, I kind of want to try playing on the Warden super heavy. That might be a reason for you to play on the other side. And not to just be hard stuck playing on one side because you only like one specific thing. Because I also don't think that's healthy for the game. So if I were a designer of the game or somehow lean in more to that asymmetric edge, not just bring more things in because people say so. Should the wardens get a dive bomber? In my opinion, no, but they should get their own cool close air support vehicle. What that is, I can't tell you. Maybe they should just add the fucking Kirov from Red Alert 2 for the warden side. Maybe they should just do that, even though it was hinted in the lore for the Kali side. But whatever. Should we get that? Should we get a big torpedo bomber that shoots tenta bombs? Probably not. But maybe we get like another medium bomber somewhere down the line that just sends out like a massive spray of mini torps. Like instead of dropping a big torp, you just shoot out like 10 mini torps. Like like a Rotarius or something like that. That's something that we could probably lean into. And again, the idea here is
drop rudder bomb or rudder mines.
Hype. Yeah, or something like that. Yeah, or drop like a string of rudder locks or something like that. Right?
Yeah.
Give each side their own unique edge to make people want to play it.
You're not ready for this though. I don't think we should get anything that does torp bombs or anything like that, and no one's ready for this. We should get an anti-submarine that can drop depth charges.
Ooh,
we should get a sub hunter. Cool. And so when you're flying above, there would be like a little sonar ping, or something like that, or you have to work with a DD. There's a fucking submarine off our fucking starboard side, 200, meters away, drop depth. Like, dude, like that type of shit is, where I'm like, that's fucking gangster, I think stuff like that is fucking G shit. Because, like, that, it adds a whole nother layer. It's like, we're not scared. Our large ships aren't scared of your large ships because we're going to fucking bomb your goddamn submarines. You know what I mean? And they're like, well, we're not going to have submarines, but we're going to torp your fucking ships from the sky. Oh, well, you're not going to get to be able to fly your fighters out there because we have sea fighters in rotation to shred your shit down if you come try to shoot our bombers down. And it's just layering on what each side would have, quote unquote, a lapse on. And both sides have an anti ship or an anti-ship plane. But we go after different ships because what is our struggle as a colonial? It's not really the frigates. It's not really the battleships. Our struggle in fighting Warden Navy, in my modest opinion, and I'm not a big sea guy, so I'm not going to sit here and, like, quote me, but I know that the Naki's fucking dangerous. And that's the things we really struggle with as a player base is fighting Nakis. And so if we can have ways to fight Nakis, you know what I mean? And so for the Wardens, like, what do they really struggle with fighting Colonials? Well, it's Lanier blobs. And so, maybe they don't even get a fucking dive bomber that can go after armor because that's not what they struggle killing. Maybe they get a bomber that can drop fucking incendiary that can't set buildings on fire, but cluster munitions or XYZ, like, you don't have to have X kills X, X kills X, and both sides kill the same thing. Maybe they get a fucking cluster munitions dive bomber you know, or a rocket launcher dive bomber that shoots fucking APRPGs, or there's so many different cool things that they could do with this. I mean, fuck, dude, they could reiterate their torpedo bomber and just slap a big old fucking like 68 gun on it, like a 68 gun that can only carry 2 or 3 shells in its rack, but it could fucking dive in 368s on some shit.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different ways to do it.
I mean, what if if wardens constantly ask for a close air support gun? Why not just give the wardens the AC-130 like vehicle? Yeah. The one that has like the side mounted like 68 guns, or a side mounted like high repeater 14.5 turrets or something like that. That's specifically designed to like fly in circles around the battlefield, and if you don't have anti-air to take it down, then it's just going to shred your tank line, or it's going to shred your army line or something like that.
Whatever.
Yeah, or infantry.
So, I mean, like, that's kind of shit that I think, and I kind of am getting a sense that you kind of agree. I don't think...
Game needs more asymmetry. We have enough symmetry right now. The symmetry is good. Like I said, as long as the entry-level vehicles are all symmetrical, which they currently are, with besides like 5% variations in between all of them, game's in a good spot. Because, everyone gets to play with the same toys, and then as the tech tree progresses, the variation in the tactics roll out.
So, here's something I have thought of. I mean, Graph, like I said, it just... I'm talking to you guys, not chat, sorry. I will talk to you later, Graph, by the way. But that being said, I think asymmetry is going to be a lot better when you're talking about planes, a lot of the new shit. But it needs to tackle problems that, here's something I actually take from Helldivers, even though Helldivers is in a rough spot right now. I like the fact that Helldivers took what players are doing naturally in the game, and the developers dove in on it. So, again, Colonials really struggle to kill Warden submarines, right? Like, generally speaking, that's like a really big thing. And I suggested a dive bomber or a anti-naval plane be to suit that. And so for the Wardens, again, I'm kind of beating a dead horse, but the point I'm trying to make is I think the developers should look at their player base and what they're doing and what their struggles are on each faction, and add new vehicles to counteract that problem. Does that make sense? I almost am going to bite my own words from what I said, because this is exactly what I'm going to actually double down on what I said. The Wardens did not need a torpedo bomber because their Navy was not their struggle. Thank you. Their Navy was not their struggle. You know what I mean? Like, maybe they should have gotten a different aid, if that makes sense. You get what I'm saying?
I hear that. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but I also disagree, because a lot of the times the devs look... So you're saying, you said earlier that the Helldivers devs look at what the players are doing and then they complemented their playstyle. I actually think that the Foxhole devs do the same thing. The devs look at what players are doing, and then they add tools to complement their playstyle. So I think the reason why... I wholeheartedly believe that the reason why the Wardens got the torpedo bomber and the Collies didn't was a large majority of the Warden player base enjoy playing Navy, which naturally inclines them to play in naval hexes. So wait, just hear me out, right? If the devs have the vision to add a torpedo bomber to the game, if you were a developer of the game and you looked at the player numbers and you looked at player behavior, why the fuck would you give it to? The fuck would you give a torpedo plane that's good against large ships, for the faction that doesn't enjoy playing in the water?
So this is what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Maybe I didn't iterate it correctly. And I think you may have caught what I was trying to say, maybe, but give it to the problems they have, right? Not complement what the play style is, but to help fix the gaps. So, again, like the Colonials theoretically needed more naval help, and they fixed it in a different iteration by fixing our boats and some of the problems that our boats had, ergo the gunboat, ergo all the buffs we got into the destroyer recently. They did it in a different way, but again, I think, and you would say our Navy is a lot healthier now, and our player base is starting to play more Navy because they fixed the issues the Colonials had versus what we want, right? So if our whole on like doctrine is to just dominate ground and we keep getting slaughtered Navy wise, we need help Navy wise, the Wardens would need help ground, correct? You know what I'm saying? Fix where our problems are, not complement what we currently have, because then it's almost counterintuitive, but I think that's actually what would make the game healthier. We needed help in the Navy. That's what they gave us. Not necessarily, I'm not going necessarily on the planes alone, but I'm saying in a general scope, what did the devs do in the past 3 updates for the Colonials and the Wardens?
Well, for one, they didn't give us a solution to Navy, which is in my opinion what the torpedo bomber would have been. I said this many months ago before we had any information about what the airborne update was. But I literally said that if the collies get a torpedo bomber, like basically the man of war, I would have never built a destroyer or a other large ship in the game ever again, flat out, end of story. Why? Because it's a lot easier to field those planes than the need for a destroyer. And lo and behold, I think that the direction that the devs went in was the correct path. Instead of giving us something as an alternative to a Navy, they gave us tools that complemented our Navy and fixed the problems. And this is where things are right now. The destroyer is in a much better space. The gunboat is in an infinitely better space now that I've played properly with the gunboat this war. The new Sharon is fucking good. Yep. Okay? End of discussion. It is good. It is a good... It's still not as good as the Warden one, but it is damn well fucking better at what it's supposed to be, because it survives rear end attacks a little bit better now. But we didn't get addicted and relied on torpedo bombers to hold our Navy afloat. We basically just were like, okay, cool. We're going to get into destroyers. We're going to fight in destroyers. We're going to make some tridents. We're going to make a shit ton of fucking gunboats. The public gunboat program this war has been insanely good. And colleagues got their feet wet, and it went well for the most part. Western Navy kind of and odd a bit, but Eastern Navy was quite strong. So, in my opinion, the direction that the devs went in to fix, quote-unquote, fix Colonial Navy has been a healthy addition to the game, as opposed to just, oh, wow, we get a torpedo bomber too, and now I don't have to make a destroyer because I can just make torpedo bombers. So, yeah,
well, that's kind of what I'm. That's kind of what I'm saying exactly. Is
you guys are both saying the same thing.
Well, no, that's exactly what I'm saying. Right? Is the devs have stopped doing this, and what maybe I'm not explaining myself very well.
No, I understand you, Ben.
Yeah,
I understand.
I think that's the way they need to continue going, because I think the game's getting healthier. Obviously, cheaters are not helping that, but that being said, they are fixing that best they can. And anyone that ever tunes into this and thinks that, it's very simple and they can just buy an anti-cheat and it's something that they can fix, I would love to invite you to any major fucking title that doesn't have cheaters in it. If you could give me that game, I'll write you a check for $1,000 fucking bucks. How about that? Because
the other.
that's just not gonna
So
happen.
if we're moving on to the cheating scandals,
Yeah.
I just want to point out one thing when it comes to the cheating scandals. All modern anti-cheat suites, so like the easy anti-cheat, N guard, whatever, or Z guard, whatever the latest color of anti-cheat corpo anti-cheat that gets added to modern games requires that your game client runs the latest version of Unity / Unreal for it to actually work. Foxhole is running on an ancient version of Unreal that the devs can't update without doing an engine overhaul. So I'm sorry to say this, like I know a lot of people have been pushing for, oh yeah, just give us easy anti-cheat and then all the problems will be solved. That is complete brain rot because A, it doesn't work, and B, yeah, cool. That this is a very indirect way to ask for an engine update, guys.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people understand even like, let's say in a hypothetical world, we were on Unreal Engine 5 and we had an engine update and we had all this new technology and the latest anti-cheat. Cheaters still have a major leg up on every single anti-cheat that has ever been fucking made. I don't think people understand how hard getting a good anti-cheat is, much less one that can actually catch a fuckload of its cheaters.
Yeah.
I genuinely think right now, and I don't know any other way to do it, active moderation or a 24/7 standby moderator to actually just see and be on to snap that shit would be the only ideal way until they can get something implemented. But that takes manpower, money, or a lot of volunteership, and then that comes with a lot of scrutiny.
Freeze frame.
There's a lot.
Freeze frame. The devs actually made a thing about this in the dev blog. I don't know if you've seen it. So if you go to the dev blog, not the patch notes, go to the media press release statement. They actually said that they're adding in more moderators.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
So I mean, they're already doing everything that I would suggest for them to do.
Scroll down, yeah. Oh, it might be up. Sorry, no, it's before the coastal gun change, which by the way we should talk about. But yeah.
Well, we have a lot of shit to talk about. Like we're only fucking what?
No.
We're only an hour in, but
there, moderation. Look at the second paragraph of the moderation chat.
It's all the way at the bottom.
Yeah, look at the very bottom.
Yeah, here we go.
So they're going to change the moderation team size based on just how many players.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely in my suggestion. Knowing all of I'm not I'm not any tech savvy. Like I know a little bit, and I know what I don't know. That's definitely shows that they know what their weaknesses are and they're gonna do the best thing for the community that they can. Like that right there speaks volumes that they are at least acknowledging there is an issue and they're going to do their best attempt to fix said issue. Like there's no doubt in my mind that they want this cheater problem fixed. Guys, it's not easy. This is a community thing. Shut those motherfuckers down. Like, I mean it, bro. Fuck those guys. If they come into your dry dock looking for repair, don't sticky their shit, but don't give them any fucking repairs. Fuck those kids. Fuck them. If there's a cheater that you know about, don't condone it. Fucking report it and do everything you can to fuck those guys over. It's a community thing.
Just for your reference, Bear, in this current war, there were two major reputable. I say reputable because there's always cheating accusations, but there was two reputable forms of cheating this war that gives some cadence that made people upset. The one was a destroyer. Basically, it was alleged / suspected that the gunners were using cheating software to perfectly land shots, which let's assume that what is true. But I will say that these guys operated on the eastern side of the map, and when these allegations were presented by, I think it was HM and Telephone, if I remember correctly, some I think it was HM and Telephone brought the allegations to light to the colonial side. I will say that we unanimously, all the dry dock owners on the eastern seaboard, we unanimously all banned those guys from repairing. They tried to sneak their DD into our dry docks. We discovered them straight away, and we immediately, the moment they gave us the keys, we locked them out their DD so they couldn't repair it. So I will. So VF banned them, Atlas banned them, and there was one other dry dock. I just forget. I think it was KM. I think there was another dry dock, and all the dry dock leaders basically got on a Discord and we were like, no, yeah, we're not repairing these guys. No one's repairing them, and they just stopped paying. Whether or not those allegations were true, at the end of the day, we don't care. We basically community moderated it because they came home with a DD with 3 smokes and no one wanted to repair them. So I think that spoke more volume than anything else.
Yeah.
And then the second reputable form of cheating was fucking Frozone in Slyke and Shelf. Okay,
dude, that shit was hilarious. I saw so many memes.
Fucking shit. I mean, it was really annoying because he kept sticking the fucking battleship turret, so we were constantly getting turreted. But that was, at the end of the day, we were laughing our heads off at this like fucking Frozone running in the middle of the night. You see him coming towards you. It was the funniest fucking shit, man. And we actually did see a moderator. So one of my guys was queuing to get on the battleship, and they literally saw fucking gold guy appear in the Carly home region, and then he like showed up for a second, waved, and then turned up and then disappeared. We're like, oh, someone's about to get banned. So live moderation did happen. We actually got to see one moderator this war. Now it would have been nicer if we had that same moderator to QRF the destroyer that was allegedly cheating, but I mean. There's alleged cheating, and then there is magically fucking running on the sky with fucking like ghost boxes everywhere.
Yeah, I definitely think that they're on top of it, and I think that they're going to be on high alert for here to come. I mean, I definitely think it's on their radar, and I definitely think that they're going to be putting live moderation in consistently, and that's good. The other thing is, like, I really like that there was a sense of community, and I like how there was, like, a, you know, fuck you, you know, we'll repair you guys, thanks for the keys, bitch. Like, nah, dude, that's some baller-ass shit, bro. I really like that type of shit, and I really like how Foxhole makes that kind of community. That being said, keep doing it, guys, because the more we moderate and say that we're not going to accept that as a community, the better our game's going to be and the more fun wars are going to be. That's a little speech, but, you know.
So just a pro tip for any dry dock owners. All large ships have a unique ID on them. So whenever someone brings a DD to your dry dock to ask for repairs, literally, pen and paper, write down the fucking ID of the ship. You can see it on the vehicle log. Write down the ID of the ship so that if someone tries to pull a fast one, and you know what ship it is based on its ID. And we've literally been tracking which DDs by what IDs we've been repairing this for. So if you want to follow in our footsteps, there's a pro tip for you. Fucking ID the ships, because the ID of the ship can never change unless the ship sinks. So, yippee.
Yeah, I definitely think fucking chat's already starting to talk about it, so I kind of wanted to move to that. I am very interested in the coastal gun change. This is something that's been asked for a long time. I don't realistically know how much this is going to actually fucking matter.
No, it matters. Okay, I'm going to say this outright. I've never been a big naval fan. I think this is a stupid change. Let me tell you why. The idea behind this is to punish yeet DDs, yeet frigates, or a yeet trident or a yeet Naki from like getting in the back lines and causing trouble. This is what this is intended change to do. This won't do it. This is going to harm actual, proper, coordinated naval invasions. Let me explain why. You can't anchor a ship if it has a hole in it. They changed the coastal gun to now do HE damage, which means that the coastal gun will create large holes if you get hit by it. So if you get in range of this fucking thing, and let's say that you are a long hook and you're trying to do like an actual naval invasion. Previously, the long hook could get in range of the coastal gun, deploy, and then the naval invasion started. That was the ding ding ding, the fucking bell rings, and then that's how the naval invasion starts. The long hook deploying and things starting to happen. Or alternatively, a frigate destroys it and then the long hook deploys offshore for some fucking reason, and then they bring LARP boats. That doesn't really work. The real start to a naval invasion is long hook goes in, deploys next to the shore, Marines drop on land, and then the fight starts. And then whoever has the most gas wins. This will completely fuck up that tactic. Completely. But the problem is that there's no alternative to that tactic being placed for it. Because the alternative is, and this is the dev vision, is you deploy the long hook off of shore, and then you make the small boats, and then the small boat goes in. This thing fucks up small boats, and it even fucks up small boats more because it does HE damage now. And the closer you get to the damn thing, the more accurate it becomes. So if you're trying to invade the point that has that coastal gun there, the small boats, the interceptors, will never fucking reach it. So, in my opinion, this is a step backwards from proper coordinated naval invasions, and for some reason, it's just to protect dry docks from a long hook or a frigate diving into it and trying to kill things.
This is the other thing.
To pull harbor.
This is the other thing.
Anti-pull harbor update.
Well,
I don't understand why this is necessary.
This is the other thing that really kind of fucks me up about it. So the coastal gun now targets large ships with reduced effectiveness. Small ships are prioritized over large ships. So the dumbest part about that is, to double down on what you were just saying, if the long hook deploys and it's supposed to be taking the quote-unquote hits, they're just going to fucking smash the little boats going in because they're prioritized targets.
But you can't deploy if you have a hole. Right?
Yeah, so
here's the deal, right? I'm a long hook boat driver. Cool. I need to drop Marines because a single frigate or a single destroyer is not enough to initiate a naval invasion. It just isn't. It's by design. It's not. Unless you have a battleship, in which case if you have enough pop in a hex for a battleship and a long hook, then holy shit, the enemy is not playing. In which case you don't need both.
Yeah.
In a high pop versus high pop scenario, which we had so many times this war, that because it was insane fucking dealing with getting through queues and shit. The problem is you need a destroyer and a long hook, or you need a battleship and a long hook, or you need a battleship and a destroyer to initiate a fight, and one of those ships needs to ram the fucking island and deploy Marines, or else you're not getting anywhere, because artillery shelters and fucking ground-based artillery can hold off an invasion indefinitely. At some point, you need boots on the ground because you need to get a CV in to do something, right? The problem with this thing is you are fundamentally countering what you're trying to achieve before you even get to the destination. Now, a lot of people are going to say, yeah, you can just snipe the coastal gun, but that's taking damage away from taking out the defenders, which is where most of your damage needs to go. When you're doing a naval invasion, the primary target is never the fucking coastal gun, unless you're ready to dive. The primary target is going to be tier 3 concrete cores. It's going to be underground fortresses with a lot of shit on it. So, you destroy the underground fortress so that your infantry and stuff can get in. It's going to be targets, high-value targets, that initiates the naval invasion. This detracts all of that. This detracts all of it. This means that if you want to do a naval invasion, you need to bring a ship just to destroy the coastal gun. There's not enough players in the game is limited on the number of players that can get in the hex. This counteracts it. So I'm a big hater of this change because it is nerfing something that is already fucking impossible to do. Okay? We tried to do 4 naval invasions this war. We had 1 successful one. Not because of the fucking coastal gun, just because it's so fucking difficult to get enough players in the fucking hex, in the right boat, doing the right thing at the right time to actually get a chance to break the coastal defenses. So I'm not a big fan of this change. I'm gonna be outright said I'm not a fan of the coastal gun change. So I'm gonna fucking push back on this one.
Well, I will say, I don't like it. I really don't. But that being said, I had a big ass smirk on my face reading the next line. This should never have gone through. This.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Okay.
I'm so
Holy
glad
shit.
they
This
fucking
is
changed
such a
this.
terrible. Oh,
Absolute
that was
worst.
such a terrible fucking airfield, dude. Oh my god.
It was horrible. I mean, absolutely worst I've ever seen change-wise in a map. That's the first map change I've seen in a long time, like an influential one, and it was fucking ass. I thank God they changed that back.
So I just want a quick shout out. Props to Acer for trying to build that airfield this war. No, seriously, legitimately. Like, we lost Endless for... Well, I say we, Colonial side. We didn't really play Endless lane this war, but we helped out a lot. The Colonials lost Endless for like a solid 2.5 weeks. Acer, specifically third, managed to build up that airfield as best they fucking could with the slow tech progression because it was enemy territory for them. As best they could. The one day that they were doing an op to try and take Overland, we snuck in flamethrower teams on literally the vulnerable point that you and I pointed out, Big Bear, of Evil Eye. The one point we would say this is the worst fucking airfield ever because you can't stop partisans or you can't stop an invasion from happening in this one spot on Evil Eye. We literally landed troops right fucking there, like 10 dudes with flamethrower backpacks, and we torched all of Evil Eye. And then the moment the Acer up ended, they realized that we tapped Evil Eye and all their progress dropped. Yeah, it's terrible. Gosh, it's the worst airfield in the game. So I'm really glad that they moved to Overland. Not because of colonial bias, because I actually think that if Wardens push in and actually take Overland, they can actually build it and not die of cringe from fucking flamethrower partisans like me who will just retap it when you're not looking.
It was
Is the Endless Door one supposed to be like the Farinac Coast Terra one?
Yeah, so that was the...
It's supposed to be Terra. It's supposed to be a Terra, yeah.
Okay.
So my last podcast...
It's his asymmetrical equivalent.
My last podcast we did, and I fucking talked about this on my YouTube video. And I made a whole thing on it on stream, too. Me and Legendary went and looked in the map before all these changes went through. And we're like, this is fucking horrible. Like, this is literally the worst change we ever saw. And we were like, there is literally like 4 spots you cannot build defenses and walk straight to the fucking core. Like, straight to the core. And I was like, you could literally, you don't even need flamethrower. You could literally just go in there, one dude with fucking a barge full of hydras, and just literally go kill it by yourself and tap it. Like, no problem. Yep. And I was like, this is the worst change I've ever seen. And it's for both sides because there's no way to defend the north side. You can just land on the beach and get in. Like, there was nothing you could do. And I was like, this is horrible. So I'm glad they made the change. A little too late, but horrible. And the fact that they said it was supposed to be equivalent to the Terra airfield, I was like, that's fucking insane. Because not only could you land on it, but everything was in fucking range of a gunboat. So literally you could just drive up to it, and you can't build AI facing the other way, so you can't build fucking howitzers. There was nothing like, dude, I'm getting mad over something I've already said and something that should have already changed, and it did. Dumb.
So here's the question now: how do we actually feel about all the other airfields in the game? It's like, in my opinion, the Reef airfield, they need to swap the position of the airstrip and the buildings very fucking quickly. The Reef was my favorite airfield this war because I could park a Sombra at the bottom of the cliff, and unless there's a dude sitting at the top with Varsies shooting at me...
Where's Reef at?
I was... it's in Tempest. So if you look at the Reef airfield at Tempest, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's airstrip right next to water, giant
Yeah.
cliff that you can't shoot down with 68 or Starbreakers. There's literally nothing that can hit you except Varsies. Whenever I was bored and I had nothing to fucking do, and all the Logi was cooking and everyone was happy, I literally just parked a Sombra at the bottom of that fucking water there. Well, landing, I would just fucking shoot them to pieces. Or a top bomber would take off, and as soon as it banks over the water to go and hit a DD or something, it lost the wing.
You fucking demon.
Absolute fucking menace. So I really hope that they swap the position of the buildings and the airstrip so that I can't fucking camp, or else I'm just gonna go to every war and camp fucking airplanes. And there's no way to defend it. There's literally you can't build on the rocks. You literally can't you can't
Yeah.
stop AA boats from camping that little water line. You have to bring a medium boat out to stop you. So I would say that I have yet to play on the Scarlet airfield, so I don't have much of an opinion about it. The pits is like it's a whatever burger. The Procession airfield I feel is really good. If I had the option to nuke some airfield every war, it's Procession. Procession is just fucking deadly. But yeah, Reef needs to looking at. Hopefully, I'll try out the Scarlet Hold airfield at some point. But I think all the other ones are, they're an okay spot. That's my opinion, at least from airfields. What do you guys think about the remaining airfields? Any opinions about it? Good ones, bad ones, shit ones?
Well, looking at chat, Graph is saying Claustra, Casey, and Endless Claustra, Casey, and Endless is quite collie based. No idea why it's not in Wellchurch. I actually did make this suggestion to put it at Wellchurch, but the issue with that is you have to convert that graph from a town hall or a town base to a relic because they're only on relics. Yeah. That's why it can't go Wellchurch. So you'd have to convert that into a relic, and that's just not possible. I said you could just move the Evil Eye, which name relic, whatever. You could just slap a new town hall or new relic base on the south side between Wellchurch and Enduring. This would fit the runway very well, and you could put a relic right here. So, I mean, that's something I suggested as well. But yeah, the reason it's not at Wellchurch is because that's a town hall and it needs to be on a relic. So, that was fucking.
Have you guys
just
been on
horrible.
Death yet?
No, I'm gonna get on immediately
yeah.
after this, I think.
Roger.
To go play in the plane.
I was just curious how far back the rollback was for Endless, because I'm curious if they kept the rail bridge and stuff and the relic. I assume it was completely all reverted.
No, they reverted all this. I also thought it was really funny that in that video I said there's not even a fucking rail line to get out there. There's no way to get parts out here. It's just wild. That being said, I mean, looking at all the airfields, if I were to it was a lot worse on the first airborne update. I know the Wardens had 2 extra airfields off rip. I'm glad that they're making those changes. KC's airfield, when it stayed at East Knife, was fucking horrible. There was just it could just get RD'd from both sides. I actually am kind of interested in making slip chain, kind of flattening out slip chain, and putting it from Scarlet to slip to make it more of a 50-50 base and actually have slip chain mean something. Because the fact it's in Scarlet Hold makes it really strong. But the problem is there's not another anchor airport for the Colonials on... Legendary, do you know the 2 airfields the Wardens had extra over the Colonials? For 132?
The one
that was in Lynn of Mercy.
Lynn of Mercy always started blue for 3 wars, and then they also had, for some weird reason, in the region with the bats in it, I forget now.
Drowned Vale.
That one also had one. Drowned Vale.
Yeah.
North side. For some reason, it's just the north side of Drowned Vale. The relic base on the north side of Drowned Vale on the top left. For some reason, that always started Warden. And again, the reason why it's
Loggerhead
strong
and Wisp
yeah,
Warning were...
yeah,
That's Warden start out, though, Graph.
yeah. So the
For
reason why that was
132.
so strong is not because of the early war and the mid war. It's because late game, when bombers actually mattered, being able to take up the airfield within a day or two and put down the concrete for the landing strip, that's the most significant part of why starting territory mattered. So it was
That
just
and the
weird
one
that
in
the
Lynn literally
warden,
won you guys the war, bro. That one was fucking insane,
yeah.
dude.
Well, I mean, realistically, shouldn't Weep Home go into like Silicon Shelf? Because then wouldn't it be even? If we have Alids, we have Endless, they have Terra, they have Stone Cradle, and we have King's Cage and Scarlet Hold, wouldn't that be even then?
I think... I don't even... Yeah, I mean, I don't think the KC one's that fucked because they have Scarlet Hold right there. I don't know why... We literally don't have anything till Origin. So...
Scarlet Hold is really hard to kill as Warden.
Yeah,
Just,
that well, I'm
okay, whoa, God, time out. I played Warden for 2 wars in Airborne. Scarlet Hold is a real fucking pain to kill, and this was before
Yeah.
it had a fucking airfield. Scarlet Hold is not easy to take.
No, I'm not
Well,
saying
I'm-
it's
I'm-
easy to take. That's not what we're
If you actually
saying.
lose Scarlet Hold, it's a fucking Cardi skill issue.
Well, no, that's
It's
not what we're
no-
saying.
yeah.
We're saying that
Yeah, yeah.
there's no airfield on this seaboard or on this side of the map until Ashfields and Origin. So if that's your case, then you have Clan's Head, Morgan's.
Well,
Wouldn't
what
you
I'm
wanna-
saying is that Weep Home should go to Briar. That to even out the sides, that's realistically what it should be. Because if we have Endless and Alids,
Yeah,
they
this
have
Weep Home should
they
go to
have-
Briar.
yeah, because that's kind of bogus for the Wardens. So we
That's
have Scarlet
bullshit.
Hold,
Weep Home is kind of
and-
bullshit for them.
Yeah, they should have Briar.
They should get it to
and
Briar.
that-
Or,
yeah,
I mean,
and
they
then
could also
do it.
slap it at Fort Horfrost,
What
too.
about Vault? What
Yeah.
about wait, what about Vault? Because you're moving into a different hex, right?
Well,
What about
the thing is, though, it's Origin... Or, no, it's King's Cage. So that's 2 up from Ash. It would have to be 2 up from... It'd have to be... Yeah, you're right. He is right, Cranky. It'd have to go into Volt. That's where it should go.
Well, just something, because I feel like
And you know what? It is a
Crazy.
bitch to take
Yeah.
the Volt, too.
Yeah, that's what
Vault
I'm
is
saying.
hard. I mean, yeah. This war to prove it. Yeah, I mean, this war kind of proved it. Like the Vault was like one of the last things to get taken. Besides,
That would
the-
actually
the
be a good
chapter.
change, too. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
opposed to shit like that, either. Like, I definitely like, I don't think that one side should have... Okay, I know we were trying to say asymmetry, but, like, for map design, for airfield control, for airfield, like, defense, for map defense, there needs to be very strong points for both sides, and Weep Home is kind of bullshit. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, very much.
That's a bullshit move. And, like, the thing is, they usually start with East Narthex, but the problem is, like, that's a hard spot to defend. Like, this area here is really hard to defend, no matter how you build it. And not even to mention...
Yeah. Okay. I was gonna say that shit can die unless it's built up by a Warden regiment who knows how to do concrete and somehow magically also defend the shoreline.
Yeah.
That's a really hard build to defend from taps. But from an actual frontline assault, East Northex is really good to hold, at least.
Yeah.
If you build on top of that hill and you put an underground fortress, fuck, is it fucking hard to kill? Fuck.
I mean, East is easy, but the problem is it's...
Yeah, no, I agree. It needs to move.
It needs to
I
move.
think I think it needs to go to Vault, or the devs need to do something funky like move the relic base.
Yeah.
That's the other alternative. Like move it more inland.
I mean, if they moved
and
it here...
allow the coast to be built.
Yeah, just literally shift it, like, maybe 100 meters
There.
to the fucking east.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it kind of has to be like King's Cage. So I mean, I understand.
Well,
like,
the problem
I think
is
they're trying to
they
use
can't
the
do it
fall.
like King's Cage, though. It's not the same because the thing with King's Cage is there's a whole fucking bridge. There's 4 bridges in between fucking... Even if they moved it to the Vault, it's a whole different settlement. Like, that's one bridge. I mean, theoretically 2.
Also, Also, there's literally nothing in the Warden Arsenal that can hit that airfield except a Railstorm Cannon, which you can't get a Railstorm Cannon into Manacle unless you go through East March. So,
It's two different battles.
East March, each knife. I'm running out of names. It's also late in the evening. Okay, all right. Airfields aside, can we talk about Logi changes now? Because I'm very excited about Logi changes.
So
I
think the biggest one.
Changes.
I think the biggest
my
one I'm excited for. I'm not gonna lie. This is gonna make my life as a non-Logi guy a lot happier for setting queues. Having shared fucking
Okay, this is it. This is the number one. Okay, I'm just gonna throw this out here. Right now, I saw Grumpy Old Boo make yap about this on FOD. Right now, it's a little lackluster and it's a little bit underwhelming. But if it gets done correctly, yeah, it's way too small. I agree, Graf. It's way, way, way too small. It's a little lackluster right now, but when this gets implemented correctly, this will finally be on the same tier as the 5x economy change to facilities in terms of Logi quality of life updates. I'm not even fucking joking. The number one problem with coordinated Logi is getting people to always clear their queue and then immediately set another one. With this, you can offload 90%, like 50% of the problem to one person that's already clearing the fucking queues. So if it's done correctly, this is, I would actually say it would be better than the Facility 5x update.
I'm not gonna lie. A lot of people aren't seeing this either, and I know as a facility guy, I personally like this. This is going from 1.5 bins to 3 bins for RTS, which is not the biggest thing, but for me, like again, as a frontliner trying to just help facility guys out, not having a spot to dump shit, this makes me happy. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, having a spot...
I'm talking about the refinery change. Sorry, I just want to be clear. I'm talking about the refinery change. Or are you talking about the next thing?
I'm talking about the next thing because...
He's on the RTS now.
This is...
Okay.
I mean, so this is a big thing to me.
Yeah, it's pretty good, but Dark Cloud Warning. Dark... So this is like... I agree, this is a good change. But dark, mysterious, ominous cloud that's lingering over our heads, this might be a precursor to the crane trick being removed.
Oh, don't say that.
Just be aware. Just be aware. Whenever there's any fucking you move materials from one building to another change, it's a precursor to, oh god, they're gonna fucking hit us with something else. So I agree. On paper, right now, cool change. Love it. 30,000 resources? Hell yeah. We can make insane salvage ports with this. We can make component ports. Fucking awesome. However, oh my god, please, for the love of God, don't make me use a small train to move resources from A to B and then fucking get in a crane and then load it up with a thing. There, man.
You better knock on wood, legendary.
Monkey's paw.
No. Just be aware when Atlas was reading through the patch notes, because we were all sitting in voice chat like shooting Artie at Porter Rhyme when the patch notes dropped. When everyone saw, they doubled the size of RTS, we all went dead silent. We were like, oh no, like crane change. Oh no, they're gonna nerf crane tricking. Scary.
I'm kind of interested in that. Also, you were talking about this earlier. This is kind of going back into combat, but this is also a really big change. Like, this is a really big change.
I wonder whose YouTube Shorts has been calling out fucking clown cars in the last fucking 6 months. Yeah.
That'll be a big thing.
You want to hear a fun story? Want to hear a fun story, which is true, and I have video footage to back it up, so it is a true story. Story time. Porter Rhyme had a gunboat port this war. We recently killed and tapped it, but before that, we would regularly send partisans there to steal gunboats. The one time we went there to steal a gunboat, there was 4 accounts, all brand new, Warden side, sitting in the gunboat with dudes hammering it. We punched out all the dudes, and they were all carrying 700 BMATs on them. This was a gunboat port with a preloaded gunboat with alt sitting on it hammering. Reported all the accounts, they all got banned. I have video footage of everything. Just want to put it out here. Fucking weird shit happening. I'm pretty sure there's a colonial gunboat out there with that, but we literally have footage of that happening. So clown cars was definitely a fucking thing this war. And the one time I actually boarded I'm gonna retract the regiment's name, but when I boarded a gunboat that had a driver and a gunner from this regiment, the moment I boarded, after we dealt damage to it because we saw like 4 hammers going off and repairing it, the moment I boarded, those 4 accounts magically all alt F4'd at the same time when I jumped on that gunboat to try and protect their names. So I'm just gonna say there was some fucking weird shit happening with people on gunboats this war, and there was a lot of fucking player reports going out this war. So if you log in and your favorite gunboat enthusiast might be banned, oops, sorry.
I mean,
yeah.
All in all, I'm gonna be real honest. Going back to what you said earlier, Cranky, I do kind of feel bad that the wardens are not getting a toy to like gawk over this update. Like I do genuinely feel bad about that, because if you are a warden enthusiast or loyalist, this looks like a colonial update and a Logi update, just because we're getting one new toy. That being said, I actually think this is a solid update through and through.
Oh, love the update.
I am really excited to see how this new fighter shakes the game up, but more or less, I'm really excited to see how this squad refinery keys are going to go, because like I'm going to be honest, if they can get the numbers right and get things popping like that, dude, Logi is going to be a lot more streamlined now, like probably tenfold, because now if someone has like an IRL crisis and has to be gone for 2 days or 4 days, or has real life, they're not going to lose all 6,000 fucking RMATs or whatever the fuck they had in there. Things are going to be really interesting. I'm gonna be honest, dude. I think it does concern me how much is going to get hoarded, but we'll have to see how that goes. I don't think anything will be different in how much gets hoarded, I guess, now that I say it out loud, but I don't know. Through and through, though, is there anything else you guys thought was really like a hot thing? Like anything else?
Why the fuck did they have the health of the fucking APC? Why? It's like, what devman did I fucking what devman fucking gunboat did I do crew this war to be punished?
My biggest thing is that you get to wear the air radio in a scout plane finally.
Oh yeah, that's also really nice. Holy shit.
Yes, you can finally be a scout. Like what?
It's a big buff to QRF.
Yes.
And if you remember El Scrapo, the provisional airfield that you guys landed in a lot this one.
Oh yeah.
Those guys exclusively use scouts to QRF gunboats and shit. So just those guys being able to check the map by themselves without needing one of us to stream the map for them on Discord, which is how we did QRF. We just jump on a Discord call with them, and one of us sits with a radio and streams the map. Massive buff. So really nice.
And then my other thing is like the beginning of the dev blog. What did it mean about like instead of going to third-party sites, you can see the war conditions? Like what? Like can you see the resource map too? I'm confused about that.
So I think the map is now going to be revealed in resistance phase on the home region. So instead of them publishing a picture on the website, that to them was like the third party thing. Okay. So now if the war ends, the next map role will be in place in the deployment map on home region. However, just I don't know yet because we need to wait for the pre-war to verify this. But I just want to throw this out here. Just throw it out there. It might not be true. I don't know yet. But I don't think that the devs can obscure resource fields from the deployment map. So unless they use the previous war's resources, or they just replace it all with salvage fields, or they re-roll the resources at war start, we might for once know what the resources are going to be before the war starts. I just want to point it out there. Maybe.
That'd
Maybe.
be fantastic.
But the technology for obscuring salvage and oil and coal fields, the technology does not currently exist in the deployment map in the home region. So we'll have to wait and see. Maybe we finally get a chance to fucking civil war 3 days before the fucking actual war starts.
Graph is saying the devs already said that's not true.
Oh,
where they say that. And
Brett said without resources. Devs already said we won't know, sadly.
Damn it. Okay, never mind me. I hyped this all up. My bad. Ban me from the next podcast.
I don't know. I don't think it's as much as people are wanting, but I think it's pretty decent. I don't think there's anything I'm mad about in this.
All I'm gonna say is, fuck it, bring back the Flood Ascension for one war. How bad could it be?
I mean, the coastal guns is probably the...
I guess the coastal gun, we'll have to see what they're cooking with it, but I don't know, man. I mean...
I don't like the coastal gun change. I'm gonna
outright
say it. If you are a coastal gun change enjoyer, I'm sorry to say it, you're gonna have to fight me on fucking VOD in the next 2 weeks. Sorry, I'm gonna push that back against it. I'm not a big fan of it. Because it doesn't solve the actual problem of what the coastal gun is aimed to fix. Sorry, and I've yapped on about it. I won't go into detail again.
What really worries me about that too is they lowered the damage that it does, even though it does HE damage. So this makes me think that gunboat swarms are going to be way more effective against these.
Wait. If this change makes it so that a gunboat swarm could overwhelm a coastal gun, okay, maybe I will see this from a different perspective. But the way that it is right now is the coastal gun now does HE damage, which fucks up gunboats and whatever. Like, it's not even close. Explosive damage is way easier to mitigate than HE damage. It makes holes. HE damage is coded to make holes. So if you get hit by a coastal gun, it's gonna make a hole. Even if it has reduced rate of fire, it's literally RNG whether or not you get a hole, and then you can't deploy long hook anymore. Yeah, we'll have to see.
I mean, we'll have to do some testing, but they reduced its damage. Like, I'm gonna go down here.
It doesn't matter. No. Forget damage. Forget damage. It makes a hole, dog.
Like, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about for gunboat swarms swarming it. That's the biggest thing to me, because if they can just swarm gunboats on it...
Yeah, but it does HE damage now, dude. It does high explosive damage. Gunboat resistances are dog shit for high explosive. That's why frigates and destroyers royally fuck up gunboat swarms if the gunners are competent, because the 120 guns just shred them to pieces. So the coastal gun does destroyer level damage now. The damage goes down, but the damage changed. The damage type changed completely.
Well, yeah, I like I said, I'm not Navy guy, so I don't know much about it. But
I'm explaining it to you. I'm explaining it to you. That's fine.
That just seems like a big drop, but I guess 900 damage in HE from AP to a fucking tank's a really big fucking deal. You know, like, that's a big fucking 900 damage would kill anything, but. Regardless, that does concern me a little bit, but the fact it's going to HE, like, we'll just have to see, man. We'll just have to see. I will say, are the planes already in the dev branch for this new?
I have no idea.
I'll have to go play that.
What you see in the patch notes right now is what's currently on live.
Okay, well then,
more, they might change things.
Well, they already had the Harpy up here, so it's. I mean, it's probably in. I don't know if they have fucking magic boxes in yet. They probably fucking don't.
No magic boxes.
Fucking so dumb. I'm not gonna go farm for a fucking plane, dude. It's so stupid.
Plus, we got 2 more victory points to get your fucking lazy ass on Live War 1. We got 2 more victory points again, motherfucker.
My other thing I do want to say is that they updated the UI. You get to see how much ammo you have in your backpack now. I love that.
Oh, yeah, very nice.
I love that. I finally can know if I have a magazine in my backpack, if I can fight or run away. I mean, that's the biggest thing.
What the fuck are you guys talking about? You don't count to the bullet. You guys are fucking chumps, bro.
Also, I just want to shout out one additional person that has gets very little recognition, but it's very important. Foxhole stats got updated today. By
did
Hayden. Yeah, by Hayden. He made a post about it on Reddit, and I read through the whole thing. It's really, really interesting. But he put a lot of work. First of all, he basically changed the underlying code so that it now is vector-based. So Foxhole stats loads fucking quick, as long as the API is up. It loads really quick, and it scales very nicely. So you can like scroll in and out, and your text sizes will all stay the same. So
wonderful.
I normally don't do this, but I'm gonna throw out an ad here. If anyone has like a spare $5, please fucking donate to this guy. He has a Ko-Fi account. He has a PayPal account. Literally, it's $5 out of your day if you play Foxhole a lot and you use Foxhole stats. Big shout out to Hayden for updating this. He does this for free. He does this for fun. His Patreon account, whatever, at the top of Foxhole stats. Please throw $5 at this guy. He deserves it. He legitimately deserves it. So yeah, just shout out to Hayden T. Thanks so much for working on this, dude. Foxhole stats is fucking awesome.
W-Mans right there. W-Mans.
I'm gonna be honest. I use Foxhole stats probably too much, dude. Like, I spot most of my arty from this just for like pre-distance and azimuth, bro. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Fucking when I was in Endless Shore this war, fucking fighting on the south side, I just hit that little ruler. Fucking bink, bink. Okay, we're gonna go distance, azimuth, bink, bink. If you guys didn't know you could do that, by the way, if you want to spot arty a little better, just for pre-distance and azimuth, obviously it doesn't affect for wind, but you can do from where you're at on the map to where you want to shoot, and you can get your distance and azimuth that way for pre-ops and stuff. And also, little fun fact, you can hit this little button right here and change these values. Like, let's just go like 300.
Also,
It'll put a ring.
If you have Foxhole stats open on a tab, and you're like the type of person that has 10 billion tabs and you forget to close them, it's really funny when when a nuke gets put down and your tab starts screaming "nuclear launch detected." That's so funny.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Scare. Yeah, that definitely happens. The amount of times people like just chilling, vibing, driving a truck, that all of a sudden nuclear launch detected, and everyone jumps out their seat because
God,
the sound is so loud.
You know where I'm happy I'm not fighting right now? Fucking Blinding Stones, dude. Fuck me, I hate that place. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Fuck whoever built those goddamn 120s here. I don't know who you fucking were, but fuck you, dude.
The PTSD stick again.
It really did.
Cool.
But anyway, guys, that was a good podcast. I mean, I didn't do my normal questions, but this is mainly an update podcast to talk about all this shit. But I really liked it. I guess for a closing statement, is there anything else you guys wish, obviously we talked about the coastal gun changes, but is there anything else you wish were different in this update? Like, is there anything else that you guys wish that got added or got changed from this?
Fuck the coastal gun change. But
Fuck the coastal gun change.
I mean, they already put the squad refinery thing, so I'm thinking, why don't they just add it to facilities as well? I mean, that's just, I think, a simple change.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I see what you're cooking. Large shell factory, yeah, hell yeah. I
add that
pull
to
the
facilities
crates,
as well, and then you can pull the crates, and then just go submit it to a DD, go submit it to a battleship. It's just kind of simple, instead of just making pallets in a factory. Just saying.
Yep. I like the resource transportation. Well, if we're talking about that, resource transportation is cool. Please do that to the crate transportation. Please, 500 crates. Oh, be so nice. Infantry kit factory enjoyers rejoice. Be very nice. Also, just on the flip side, for the partisan guys, big fat fucking loot box if the CTSs get changed to 500. Because you get so many more crates if you actually tap it. So
Okay.
worth it.
By the way, speaking of fucking facility and shit that needs to be changed, can we fucking no. Can we fucking get rid of this goddamn unpackaged or fucking unbuilt bullshit crates that I gotta redeploy or resubmit to fucking pull them out? Bro, fuck that shit. Bro, I am not trying to pull. I do it for the public, okay? I made like 600 fucking crates of fucking tremolas. And I had to pull each and every one of those motherfuckers, submit them, and then re-fucking pull them. Just to go submit them. Bro, fuck that. Bullshit. It needs to be changed.
No. Listen. Skill issue. Don't pull it with a crane, noob.
I didn't pull it with a fucking crane. I pulled it, dude. You know, I'm done talking about it. It was bullshit.
Hold up.
Oh.
Hold up. I want my closing statement. I want my actual closing statement. Could you please open the Harpy lore screenshot? I have. Here's my closing statement. Because Carly's actually got lore. The screenshot with the plane on, please. Actual lore.
It'd be in the dev blog.
Yeah, it'll be in dev blog, not the patch notes. Scroll the render screenshot with the text. Here's my closing statement. If you scroll in on the text a little bit.
I can't do too much, but I'll try to pull it out.
Yeah,
first.
just scroll a little bit. Okay.
What the fuck was that?
Under the lore, it says experimental airships. Colonial experimental airships. Boom! I want fucking Zeppelins. I want combat Zeppelins.
Oh my god.
So I'm just gonna throw it out there. That's my closing statement. I better see some fucking combat Zeppelins or observation balloons for Connie's the next update. Experimental airship. There it is. Right next to the propeller. That's my closing statement. We're getting airships, boys. We're going blimping.
Bro, that's what we need is a fucking DD in the air, dude. That's what we really need, bro. That'll be so sick. I'm so excited.
Fucking yeah.
So excited to have a DD in the fucking air, bro. It's gonna be so sweet.
Drop by.
Crank, you got anything else, dude?
Mine was just, hopefully, I seen that, update 67, in the moderation little tag was that they're gonna focus more on, cheating and anti-cheat and stuff like that. The two things I want is, squad queues and facilities, and, even though it's cool to see Frozone out and about, I would rather not see him, and make sure both player base are happy. So yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, hey boys, I appreciate y'all coming here today. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for all who attended the live. I will be posting this on YouTube after I do a little bit of editing. But yeah, thank you guys so much, and you guys are always awesome guests on here. I'm gonna end the recording here. Yeah, make sure to like, follow, and subscribe, boys. Peace.